is, baby? It's your boy Easy Work Boxing. About to hit you everywhere but under your feet with this one. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We saw a great fight Saturday night, even though I watched it this morning and some of Saturday. But it was a great fight, between Oscar Valdez, Shakur Stevenson. Got to give both of them credit. Most of all, we have to give a standing ovation to Mr. Oscar Valdez, because we wouldn't have had that fight if Oscar wasn't a real soldier out there in the ring. Oscar Valdez, gave us a fight. He could have walked away. He could have, brought up a whole bunch of reasons. He could have said it was across the street. He could have said Shakur Stevenson ain't done enough. He could have said Shakur Stevenson is not a pay-per-view star, even though he ain't either. But, you know what I'm saying? No excuses. Oscar Valdez got in the ring, so standing ovation for Oscar Valdez, okay? Standing ovation for Oscar Valdez. Now we got to talk about some stuff we seen in the fight. Okay, now I will say one thing. Shakur Stevenson did show us that he is on another level than most boxers. I think we all can agree with that because Oscar Valdez was no pushover. Oscar Valdez was no pushover. He done beat Burchell. He done beat some names before, but he went out there and had to deal with, some say the new Floyd Mayweather. I say the new Floyd Mayweather. It was very difficult for him to get to Shakur Stevenson like I thought. Shakur has magnificent defense. Oh, but of course, not only that, y'all know I got to go in on some stuff too, right? Because even though Shakur went out there and beat Oscar Valdez the way that I expected, I did see some things that I didn't like that Shakur Stevenson was doing. So y'all know, he's got to go in on that. Now, one thing now I didn't like about what Shakur Stevenson was doing in the fight, what was Shakur Stevenson's right hook? I feel like if Shakur Stevenson would have been throwing his right hook a lot more, he would have did a lot more damage to Oscar Valdez. And it seems to me that Shakur Stevenson has a punch pattern. And that punch pattern is the jab, straight left, and then a left hook. I wanted to see Shakur Stevenson do more. There were times where Oscar Valdez was right in front of him and he'd be moving off his back foot where he could have been throwing little combinations, landing on Oscar Valdez. There was a lot of things I didn't like I was seeing about Shakur Stevenson. Not complaining about it because he did an excellent job. It was just things that I seen, like running around the ring in the 12th round. I did not like that. I understand you was winning on the cards, you was winning highly on the scorecards, but come on now, what's this running around after in the 12th round? I didn't like that at all. We done seen some of the greats do it. We done seen Floyd do it. We have seen other boxers do this. But to me, that's very disrespectful. Not only to your opponent, but it's very disrespectful to the fans. Now, once again, even though Shakur went out there, as they say, put on a masterful boxing lesson to Oscar Valdez, at the same time, I did not like that. And also, I don't know if anybody else seen this part in the fight, but Shakur Stevenson literally punched Oscar Valdez below the belt. I think it was the ending of the 6th or 7th round. And he just looked at Oscar Valdez and smiled at him. Now, I know this ain't a gentleman's sport. I know people are out there to hurt each other. But at the same time, I see him punch this man in between his legs. And he did it like 3 times. But I think the last time I really seen is Shakur Stevenson purposely punched him. Everything all right, OG? Yeah, man, just going through a little situation. Everything gonna be all right. I miss kids, man, but you know what it is. I just tried to, do something, but that ain't working. Valdez is overrated as hell. Can we say that Valdez is overrated, or can we just say he ran across a special fighter? Because really nobody, well, you gotta go back to Rob Consequia. Rob Consequia really beat Oscar Valdez. But, you know, due to the fact that they didn't count that as a win for Rob Consekiao and they gave it to Oscar Valdez, they wanted to make it look like Oscar Valdez came into this fight without a blemish on him. You know, a lot of people should have known he was going to lose anyway from the Rob Consekiao fight. Rob Consekiao is nowhere as skillful as Shakur Stevenson. And look what he was doing to Oscar Valdez. And also, I've learned that a jab stops Oscar Valdez. And another thing I noticed, Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez showed me exactly why we will never see Demetrius Andrade versus Canelo Alvarez. It showed me right then, as I thought about seeing Canelo out there in the audience. When I seen Canelo out there in the audience, I'm looking at it, I said, damn. I said, this look like Shakur Stevenson. I mean, this should look like Demetrius Andrade versus Canelo Alvarez. That's why we ain't gonna never see that fight, because it's gonna look the same exact way. That fight is gonna look the same exact way, y'all. But Oscar Valdez did as much as he could do. You know, he tried to turn up the pressure. He was throwing them straight right hands. Those were landing a little bit. I was very surprised that Shakur Stevenson was even getting caught by a majority of them straight right hands. But that is the southpaw killer punch, the straight right hand. I felt that, like I said, Shakur Stevenson should have been throwing that right hook a lot more. He should have been throwing that right hook a lot more. I would have loved to see more uppercuts from Shakur Stevenson. But, you know, how can we really complain when he went out there and he did what he was supposed to? He did a great job from what I seen. You know, like I said, the only problems I was having, and also, this was making me wonder too about Shakur Stevenson. Nobody is being truthful, and nobody is saying things that they saw. Now, I'm wondering this. I'm not saying he can't. Can Shakur Stevenson fight going backwards? Can Shakur Stevenson fight going backwards? There was a lot of times where it looked as if Shakur Stevenson cannot fight going backwards. A lot of people gonna say different, but moving backwards does not mean you can fight backwards. I'm talking about being technical as you are moving forward. I didn't see that. I didn't see any of that from Shakur Stevenson. I'm just being real. You know, they kept saying he put on a masterful performance. Yes, he did put on a masterful performance. I agree with that totally. I've been saying for the longest that Shakur Stevenson is going to be the next Floyd Mayweather Jr. But at the same time, that back foot movement, I didn't really see him want to throw a punch while moving backwards. Now, some may say, oh, because he didn't have to. Okay, that's all good and well. But that's something I would have liked to see in the fight. I would have liked to see him going back, jabbing, stepping over, then throwing it straight. Or Oscar Valdez throwing a jab, Shakur stepping over with a check right hook. Check right hook. That would have been a very valuable punch for Shakur Stevenson, throwing a check right hook against Oscar Valdez. There were times where Oscar Valdez was coming in over his knee with his jab. If Shakur would have switched to the angle, he could have caught him several times with a right hook. It's not to take away nothing from Shakur Stevenson. I'm just saying they kept, saying masterful boxing lesson, which it was, because his punch output and his jab nullified everything that Oscar Valdez was trying to do, even body shots. But at the same time, it was just stuff that I seen. You know what I'm saying? A lot of folks ain't talking about this because, a lot of folks don't want to criticize. I'm not really criticizing him. It's just stuff that I wish I would have seen him do in the fight. That check right hook, for one. He was doing a lot of move, like turning Oscar Valdez with the hook, but he wasn't throwing it. We celebrate the loser more than the winner. Hold on, let me see what everybody's saying. Everything good, bro. Valdez is overrated as hell. These special fighters that make other special fighters look like dog shit. Shakur is one of them. Yeah, Shakur is one of them. And that was a Floyd Mayweather. That's what Floyd used to do to fighters. You know what I'm saying? Floyd used to make championship fighters look like they just started boxing that weekend. So, you know, this does show us that Shakur Stevenson is on another level. But me, if I was his coach, if I was somebody on his team, I'll be working on that. We got to work with you moving off the back foot, fighting off the back foot. We got to work with you with your punch. With your punch out, to me, Shakur Stevenson threw too many punches that were alike. His punch output was the same. Straight, jab, straight, then left hook. Jab, straight, left hook. It was too much of the same. I felt like he could have possibly knocked Oscar Valdez out if he would have switched up that combination and threw an uppercut in the middle or the ending of it sometimes. But it was basically the same combinations, which, if that's all he had to do to win, hey, I'm for all that. Amen to that. But I'm just saying, I wanted to see a massacre. I wanted to see Shakur Stevenson put on a show. I wanted to see a stoppage. I didn't really want to see a 12-round fight between these two. This was Shakur Stevenson's coming out show. Now, true enough, he left with the titles at the end of the day, but at the same time, I wanted to see him click. He dominated, but I wanted to see a brutal domination from Shakur Stevenson. I think that would have highlighted him even more. But the playing around the ring, the running, you know what I'm saying, around the ring at the end in the 12th round, you know, I didn't like that. I felt like he should have showed us more killer instinct. He should have went out there and really did Oscar Valdez wrong, in my opinion. That's what I wanted to see from him. But at the same time, shout out to Shakur Stevens. You put on a hell of a show. You are the best thing smoking at 130. Hopefully you become undisputed. I'm not criticizing the champ. I just seen things that I wanted him to do more. I wanted a massacre, and he gave us a great boxing match, but I wanted him to destroy Oscar Valdez. So to Shakur Stevenson, I thank you, my brother, and also to Oscar Valdez. My email is easyworkboxing@gmail.com. All together. easyworkboxing@gmail.com. Lowercase. All lowercase. That fight was too easy. The only thing he don't have is power. Yes. Now, when it comes to power, I think Shakur has power, but I think Shakur doesn't. I don't think he puts a lot into his punches at times because he doesn't want to get caught. I think if he tries to put a lot of force into his punches, a lot of power into his punches, it'll make him flat-footed and stationary for him to possibly get hit. I think Shakur really knows the game well enough that I don't have to try to hit you hard unless I really want to. But I did want to see more power. I didn't see any devastating punches that really stunned Oscar Valdez. I think I seen one punch, if I can recall, that really kind of slowed him down, but Shakur was just moving. After he landed that punch, he didn't really attack him. But Shakur, you know, people can't say lack of power because he didn't go out there and attempt to show us that he could stop him. So I agree with you on that. Canelo would destroy Andrade. Easy, you capping. Well, if that was true, why hasn't he fought him? Oscar Valdez is so overrated, he has no dog in him. I wouldn't say that. I'll just say Oscar Valdez has dog in him. This is a man who fought with a broken jaw, you know what I'm saying? And more. You know, he has dog in him. It was just that he was against a better dog. He couldn't do nothing. Shakur won every round. Come on, bro. Yes, he won. Well, he didn't win every round. I'd say it was 10 rounds to 2 at the most. 10 rounds. He didn't win every round. If Floyd wasn't around, Canelo would be the best. I mean, if it was a fifth, we'd be drunk. I kind of could agree with that, but if it was a fifth, we'd be drunk. Real talk, there were flaws that showed up. Thank you, Dirty Red. Somebody agree with me. Somebody loves the sport of boxing for real, who ain't afraid to criticize even their favorite fighter or fighters that they like. I like Shakur Stevenson. I have nothing against him. He is the Floyd Mayweather. I've been saying that for the longest. He the next Floyd Mayweather Jr. Shakur won easily. Valdez got only one round, the third. How you feel about Spence calling Bomac a bomb? That's Spence's decision. Spence needs to worry about fighting Crawford, not Bomac. Bomac is not the person he has to fight. But we've seen Errol Spence Jr. get very tender before when people are talking to him. He tried to beat up Terrence Crawford, homeboy, when they was having their face-to-face backstage at a fight. So, you know, he loves to pick on people and talk about people who he don't have to fight. Bro, how perfect did you want Shakur to be? You talking about Pretty Boy. He not that either. That's what I expected. I wanted to see a reincarnation of Pretty Boy out there. That's what I wanted. I don't know what everybody else wanted, but I wanted to see a reincarnation of the Pretty Boy. How does fight off the back foot? ESPN was criticizing for his lack of aggression. They should have criticized him for his lack of aggression because I felt like he could have did more to hurt Oscar Valdez and, you know what I'm saying, stop him. I think, yeah, he should be criticized for that. You know, I think he should have, he could have went out there and literally stopped him if he wanted to, if he would have put more effort, I believe. He can't please everybody. It's not for him to please everybody. That's my opinion. Is not for him to please me. I love Shakur Stevenson fight game. I love Oscar Valdez fight game. I'm just speaking about things. I'm not the channel that's going to sit up and just hold him up on the pedestal. If y'all looking for that on my channel, go to somebody else's channel. We don't do that over here. I'm giving Shakur Stevenson full credit for what he did. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit up here and say there was stuff I didn't see. I would have loved to see him throw that check right hook or a right hook more. I would have loved to see him not sitting around playing in the ring and running in the 12th round. What's wrong with that? So what now? I'm a Shakur Stevenson hater because I'm speaking facts or what I feel? His job wasn't to please me. His job wasn't to please me. I'm just a fight fan. I'm just a fight fan. I'm nobody special for Shakur Stevenson to have to please. But I did see certain things I wish he would have capitalized on. When they were in close quarters, Shakur was on the back foot. He could have been stepping back, throwing little combinations. It was a lot of stuff I seen. Shout out to Shakur Stevens. He did a hell of a job. He did what I expected. I wanted him to stop him in the 10th round, but he didn't do that. So, you know, it is what it is, but it was a hell of a fight. Shakur Stevenson dominated. He showed y'all why I'd say he's the next Floyd Mayweather, but it was just certain things I felt he could have did better on. Which I'm sure if he watched the fight himself, there's going to be certain things he wish he could have did better on. Nothing. Just speaking my opinion, that's all. Not hating on him. Not, you know what I'm saying? Not here to offend anybody. Just saying, I like the fight. I like what he did in the fight. But at the same time, there were things that I saw that I felt like he could have did better. I would have loved to see him throw that right hook a lot more. I didn't like to see the same continuation of the same punches throw. Even though he did enough to win, he looked spectacular winning. I feel like he could have dominated even more and done more to Oscar Valdez. That's my complaint. Oh, let me see. Shakur was showboating. Yes, he was doing, but he did a lot of stuff, you know, that I didn't like. But you know, he's still young. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see what happens after the fight press conference, after the whole fight breakout? I really didn't pay attention to the fight breakout. That don't do nothing for me. They should be in the ring trying to get paid. Valdez would have had a better luck if he was the same height and reach as Shakur. Valdez can never be Shakur being short. They look like they was the same height to me when they stood face to face. A black fighter have so many obstacles obstacles in the first place. I don't understand it. Bomac is a bum with a 7-14 record and getting KO 9 times. He need to shut up and train Bud. Well, like I said, you know, at the end of the day, Spence ain't fighting Bomac. Spence ain't fighting Bomac. Bomac record don't mean nothing. Derrick James wasn't elite himself. Haney versus Shakur is a mirror match. No, Shakur beats Haney, in my opinion. I'm gonna say this: that girl Lily might be a distraction from his baby mama. Her and her daddy know what they doing. I don't know. When the competition step up, you see more. Well, hey, he did a spectacular job stepping up against Oscar Valdez. But at the same time, it was just stuff I see from me watching boxing for years and me loving the sport. I wanted to see Pretty Boy, a reincarnation of Pretty Boy Floyd Mayweather. I know he is not Floyd Mayweather, but I have said this man is going to be the new Floyd Mayweather. And he proved that he is going to be the new Floyd Mayweather because he made a 2-time champion look like he had no business boxing. Time for me to get off, y'all. I had to just speak on this. I thank y'all for y'all love and y'all support. I ask y'all to stay tuned to the channel. Show some love to your boy on Cash App, PayPal. Donate to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Like the channel. Also hit all on your notifications so you see the videos all the time. And I thank y'all for y'all love and y'all support. This is Easy Work Boxing. I'm finna say this is Easy Work Boxing, y'all. I'm out.